𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗀𝗡.
He not only rambled, but he rumbled and stumbled. That was a heck of an effort.
Hey, you want big-time football? The hits, the boom, the doink, the whap. It's all here. This is my game.
Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden NFL 23 defensive plays video breakdown, I'm going to take a look at LB Blitz 0, A and C gap heat, quarterback pressure. And what I want to show you is how to get some manual pass rush that's pretty darn quick coming from a defender that's lined up at the linebacker position, particularly the middle linebacker position. And not only can we get A gap from him, we'll also get C gap pressure from the left outside linebacker who will be blitzing off the right side of the offensive line. So making this defense pretty intense as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback and pretty quickly. So hopefully this is something that you guys can use in Madden NFL 23 to bring some serious heat on the quarterback. Here's a look at the play diagram and the play info for the nickel 3-3 Cub Mike Blitz 0. As you can see, this defense has 3 defensive linemen, 5 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. The coverage type is man. The coverage shell is cover 0. The blitz type is man blitz. The gap pressure is A and C gap. The pass rushers are 6 and the pass defenders are 5. Here is a list of the playbooks that you'll find the nickel 3-3 Cub Mike Blitz 0 out of in Madden NFL 23. And the playbook that we're going to use for this video breakdown is out of the Raiders playbook. What I want to do right now before I get to the actual blitz setup, just to show you what the nickel 3-3 Cub Mike Blitz 0 looks like without making any type of adjustments. And then we'll show a couple other adjustments that guys might, or at least common adjustments that guys might use to go ahead and bring pressure on the quarterback with this particular defense. So we'll go ahead and run that. And then from the offensive side of things, let's go ahead and use the Chiefs playbook here. We'll run this from the gun, tray, Y flex, strong. As far as the offensive formation, we'll run this from this play called verticals, Y cross is the name of the offensive play that we're going to go ahead and use. So by default, the way this play works is generally the pressure is going to come from the middle linebacker here, who's going to shoot through this A gap and apply pressure on a quarterback. So he'll come through this A gap and then he'll get to the quarterback right there as you look at your screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just allow him to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and just snap the ball here. And again, you'll see him come through that A gap pretty quick as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. Probably right around 2.5 to 3 seconds as far as getting to the quarterback with that. Now, some of the other things that players may do when they run this particular defense is they may go ahead and manually control this guy and then just fake manually rush him. And if they do this, then a lot of times the pressure is actually going to come from this linebacker right here who's going to shoot off the right side of the offensive line and bring pressure on the quarterback. So that's what will happen here. And then what they'll do is they'll just drop him back, which is nice, and they'll just go ahead and control him and try to take away any of the short stuff coming over the middle of the field right there. So that's another setup they may do. Something else they may do is take control again of this linebacker. Go ahead and put him in let's go ahead and put him in a middle read and do the kind of the same thing I just showed with them blitzing, but this time he'll just be in the middle read here, and then they'll just drop him back. And, you know, they'll have a little bit more like that if they want to. Or maybe they'll switch off as soon as the linebacker gets to past the line of scrimmage, and then they'll hurry up and switch off to that linebacker. When I say switch off to that linebacker, they'll switch off to this linebacker right here once he gets across the line of scrimmage, and then go after the quarterback themselves. And then they'll allow that other defender to drop back into a hook zone. So that's a couple different ways that guys may run this particular defense when bringing pressure on the quarterback. Before I get to the actual blitz setup, as far as showing manual pass rush from the middle linebacker, I'm going to go ahead and make a sub. Now, as you look at your screen right here, 𝗟𝗯𝗆's pretty fast. He's like an 80 speed, not too bad, but you can get some faster speed in there by making a couple substitutions, or at least one substitution. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and sub 𝗟𝗯𝗆 out for a safety. Now, the Raiders have a pretty fast safety at the strong safety position. It's this guy right here. It's Abram. He's at 92 speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub him out and put Harmon in at the strong safety position. And then what I want to do is take 𝗟𝗯𝗆 out at the middle linebacker position and bring 𝗍𝗶𝗆 in there at that position there. So now we're going to have a 92 speed safety in at the middle linebacker position versus having an 80 speed linebacker. Now keep in mind, the Raiders do have some fast linebackers that you could move into the middle linebacker position if you rather use a linebacker rather than the safety. Just keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and get onto the field here and take a look at it as far as bringing the pressure on the quarterback manually. Before we actually get on the field and actually show you how to set this blitz up, the one thing we have to make is one coach adjustment before we actually get on the field. And I believe I've already done it here for you guys, but what you want to do is you want to go down to zone drops, hooks, and you want to set this to 0, such as what you see on your screen. So make sure you do that before we actually get onto the field here. So let's go ahead and do that and hit the field, and I'll go ahead and show you the blitz setup. Before I finally get to showing the setup here out of the nickel 3-3 Cub Mike Blitz 0, as far as getting A-gap pressure from the safety or the middle linebacker in this case, I want to show you what the personnel looks like at this point as far as our linebackers are concerned. So let's go ahead and take a look at them just briefly, and then we'll get to the actual setup here. So with this one, as I've already pointed out, I went ahead and brought the strong safety 𝗍𝗶𝗆 into the middle linebacker position. You remember, right? We went ahead and subbed him. He's got a 92 speed rating. And then we also got Crosby over here lined up. He's, I believe, like a 85 speed rating, and he's lined up there at the left outside linebacker position. We also got one other defender I haven't talked about, and that's going to be this guy right here. This is going to be an X factor, and that's going to go ahead and be Chandler Jones. And he's got this right here. I want to point this out to you. He is an edge threat elite, so that means he can get pressure on his own, and that's going to be nice because he can bring pressure off the left side of the offensive line on occasion and get pressure to the quarterback pretty quickly. As far as the blitz setup is concerned, all you got to do with this particular defense is to go ahead and spread the defensive line, call QB contain, take control of the safety or the strong safety in this case, or the middle linebacker depending on who you have in at that position, and bring him up near the line of scrimmage. You'll notice he's lined up about 2 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's to the inside of the left end. And then if you want, you can go ahead and call press man coverage. So there's your look right there as far as this setup is concerned. And what we're looking to do is to go ahead and get inside pressure coming from the linebacker or the safety through the A gap. Now, keep in mind, one of the things that's going to happen with this, because we have the coach adjustment set to 0 as far as hook zone, he's actually going to come up in this area here on his own. And it's when he gets up there, then we're going to manually rush him where he can go after the quarterback. Now, on occasion, he may get blocked. He may get blocked by the left guard or, the right guard. But if he does, that doesn't really matter because we're still going to get pressure coming off the edge from this linebacker. So just keep that in mind. What we're looking to do is get an extra guy in. And a lot of times you can. Now, like I said, on occasion, you may get blocked. So let's go ahead and just run this and take a look at it. And right there, we got the pressure there. So there we got the A-gap pressure coming from the safety right there as I blitzed him through the middle. Let's go ahead and do the same setup again. And as like I said, this is pretty easy as far as bringing pressure on a quarterback. It doesn't take a whole lot of, as far as time to set this up. Pretty easy as you look at your screen. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again. And right there, we get that double pressure that I was talking about earlier. So that's what's nice about this defense. Now, I can't promise you're always going to get this every single time. There's also variables, as far as where the running back, if he stays in the pass block, there's all kinds of different things that can happen that may make this not work the way you're seeing it. But for the most part, you can certainly get pressure on a quarterback. So what I want to show you at this point is just take a look at this, and you can see right there as we get that pressure on the quarterback, I'm really not in control of him right now. At this point, I am not in control of this linebacker here or the safety. I'm not in control of him right now. I'm just waiting until he gets to the line of scrimmage. And one of the things I'm looking for is I've got the hope that this lineman here, this right guard, looks to block in this direction here. If he looks to block in that direction, such as you see on your screen, then that's going to clear it out where I can get that pressure right there and apply the pressure on the quarterback myself and manually go after him. And again, hopefully the left outside linebacker gets his pressure as well. So that's the nice thing about this setup as far as getting to the quarterback. It's pretty consistent for the most part, but you may get blocked. Here's another adjustment you might want to consider when running this. So go ahead and spread the defensive line out, call QB contain, and then switch to this linebacker right here. This is the left outside linebacker. Go ahead and move him inside, such as what I show on the screen right there. You'll notice now he lines up just a little bit closer to the left end than before. And the idea of this would be to go ahead and get these two offensive linemen to look to block into this direction, it should create a bigger gap where you can apply pressure on the quarterback. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing you did before, take control of the linebacker there, or the safety, and then bring him up near the line of scrimmage, about 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, and shaded to the inside of the left end. And you're going to do the same thing that we've been showing in this video breakdown. And you might get that type of pressure right there. I kind of just missed them, but you can see right there, that's another way of doing it as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. So there it is right there. Same thing that I just showed, just bring him into the inside, bring this guy down. And if you want to call press coverage, I'll go ahead and do that. But there it is. There's a setup. That's another way of doing it. It might help out a little bit. Not much difference. You're just bringing that linebacker a little bit closer. And then you're just hoping that you get this right here. And I got caught up right there as I was coming in. But that's it right there. Let's go ahead and run it one more time. Same setup. Go ahead and take control of this guy right here. Bring him to the inside. Switch back over. And there it is. There's your setup. And we'll call press coverage. And then hopefully you just get the pressure on the quarterback. I can't guarantee this is always going to work, but it's something to look at and bring that pressure, such as what I'm showing on the screen. And of course, the man coverage is out there. So it's a decent defense. It's worth taking a look at. I did want to point out one other thing with this. I did not talk about base align. I want to kind of mention that briefly. Let's go into a different formation here. Let's go into this 𝗟𝗶𝗲𝗄 flex formation. Basically, it's the same formation. The only difference is the running back is now lined up over to the right side of your screen. And one of the things I want to point out to you, this is kind of important when you run this, is that you're going to notice now that the free safety is in man coverage on this halfback. Well, you'll notice the problem with that is if your opponent has the running back running some type of route out here towards the right, well, the problem with that is that the safety now has to come all the way across to cover him. And what you can do is you can call man align if you want, or not man align, but base align, and get something like this, which is going to help out. But you'll notice there's some guys shifting around and stuff. That's fine. You can go ahead and set this up, the same setup that I've shown earlier. Let's go ahead and move him in. And you can try to get that pressure off the edge. The other thing you're going to see as you did this, the left end now becomes a guy in QB contain. As you look at it, you can see on your screen, he's in QB contain. So the blitz may not work quite the same. That's one of the things you got to watch with this when you run this. You can still get that pressure, but it may not always work just like that. So just keep that in mind. That might be an issue right there with that. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again. Go ahead and call base align. Spread the defensive line out. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and spread the defensive line out, and then call QB contain. And then right there we got the we got base line on and all that. And then you're going to go ahead and take control of this guy again and do the same thing right there. Now, one other thing you could do is you could take control of the linebacker here and bring him to the inside manually if you want. Just be careful not to go off sides. And then you kind of get the same idea. So that's an extra step you would have to do to set this up if you decide to do base align. So what I'm trying to tell you is this kind of depends on what the offensive formation does, will determine what you're going to do as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. So it's pretty consistent, but on occasion you're going to get blocked. But it's certainly a defense worth taking a look at. And certainly the concept that I'm showing here as far as putting a defender, going into your coaching adjustments and setting it to 0 in the hook zones, this might be something you can do with some other defenses and play around with a little bit. That's kind of what I wanted to show with this whole thing, was there's some different ways of now getting pressure on the quarterback in Madden NFL 23, a little bit different than even last year as far as things are concerned here, as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. Let's just go ahead and run this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and bring that guy to the inside here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same setup kind of been showing earlier. And there you go right there. There's your setup. This is pretty easy. I just forgot to put the guy in QB contain. And there you go. There's your setup. Same thing. And you're just looking to get that inside pressure. There I got blocked, but I still got pressure coming off the edge. So that's the nice thing about this one. You're still going to get pressure regardless of what happens, as far as if that linebacker gets blocked or not, as far as the one that we're in manly control of. So guys, hopefully this is something you guys can take a look at to go ahead and bring pressure on the quarterback. And definitely a defense worth taking a look at from the nickel 3-3 Cub. The name of the defense is called Mike Blitz Zero. Doesn't take a whole lot of time to bring pressure on the quarterback as far as the setup. And it's definitely one of those defenses that can definitely get A and C gap heat on the quarterback pretty consistently.